S. Chan presents educational video lectures. Difficult concepts made easy. Study anywhere, anytime.
As in the previous video, we have learned that how to make calculations with the data.
If you want to study this topic in detail, refer to the book by S. John Publishing. Link is provided in the description box.
Hello students and welcome to the S. Chan Academy. My name is Kanhaiya Jha. In this video, we are going to learn the presentation of data. So we have two kind of presentations with us. The one is the graphical presentation, where we'll make a particular graph and we'll make the presentation. And the second one is a numerical presentation. In the numerical presentation, we will give the numerical value, and the graphical presentation, along with the graphical numerical value, we will have to make a graph and then we have to present it. Okay, so let's take a real life example that what is the graphical presentation and why it is important. Okay, so all of you, we all are watching the cricket match. So we can see that suppose team A has scored something and team B is doing the batting. So we can see in the graph a different color is given to the team A and a different color is given to team B, and we are comparing it. That how we compare it, let's see this. So what we do is that this is the graph. Okay, these are the number of overs that is done, and this is the score of the team. Now this method is very useful because in a single look we can see that what is the comparison of the score. Suppose that I denote a team A here, okay, that after the completion of say 40 overs they are in the 200 score, okay, and with a different color I mentioned the team B. With a different color, suppose with a black color I have mentioned a team B, and I can say that they are at this 300. So we can say that at the same over, after the completion of 40 overs, team A has scored 200 and the team B is on 300. It means that giving a comparison, also we can do it vice versa, because if team A has scored 200, then ideally team B should not score 300, they should 201 only, but we can reverse it. So suppose that the team which is batting first is black, they scored in 40 hours 300, then a team B scored 200 in that 40 hours. So looking at the color, we can see that how we are calculating the particular changes, the variation or the comparison between the two particular teams. That how we compare the score of the two particular teams, okay, when they are playing the match. So graphical representation is that we categorize the data again, because categorizing the data is very important. After that, what we do is we make a graph, and the graph generally shows us that what is the variation. So for the graph, what is the first thing that we need is a data. For the graph, what is the first thing that we need a data. So what we do is that for the entire particular data pattern, we'll make a particular diagram, particular calculation. Suppose that there are 30 students, we make three particular categories, or if you don't want to make a category, then we put from student number 1 to student number 30. After that, what we do is that we'll give the individual score and then we'll make a graph. This graph is called as a bar graph. We can make a pie chart, okay, we can make a histogram, okay, then we can make a box plot and everything. So after calculating this particular value, we'll make a calculation. So let's take an example and let's see that how we do this. So look here. So what happens here in a classroom, from 1 to roll number 10, from roll number 10 to roll number 20, from roll number 11 to roll number 20, from 21 to 30, and then this is the case. Now from 1 to roll number 10, they play football. From 11 to 20, they play cricket. And then 21 to 30, they are not in game. They do not play any game. So basically we have this particular data that 10 students are playing football, 10 students are playing cricket, and the 10 students are in class who are not playing anything. So when we make the graph will be like this. So this will be the range of the student that what they are playing. So first 0, 10, 20, 30, they are the students. Then cricket, there are 3 options: cricket, then you have a football, and then they are not in any game. So there are 10 students only. Then you can see that 0 to 10, there are 10 students here, then 10 students here, and then 10 students here. If you color it, they will give a different colors and naming that how students have generally scored. But this is a very simple example where we generally, we are breaking the particular data, and because the number of students are generally equal to each other. Suppose let's take another example that 0 to 10 students, this 10, 20, 30, 40, 25%, 35%, 45%, and then 75%. So we can see that these are the categories from 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40. They are scoring 20%, 30%, 45%, 75%. Suppose that in the first category of the students who are from 0 to 10, they score 75. Second category scores 25. Third category scores 45, and then they score 30. So we can see this particular variation. When you make a graph, then you can see that this is the particular variation. So you can see that here, that how it goes for a peak, then it comes down, and then it comes to the particular minimum value. So from 25%, 30%, 45%, 75%, how this we can study that the variation generally takes place. That how in a particular group we have a student who score more, in a particular group we have a students who score less, okay, and then how the score varies with a particular student, how the variation of the score generally varies. So this is basically is a graphical representation. In the graphical representation, along with the calculation, we will do it with the different colors. The different colors generally shows us that what is the category of the first group, what is the category of the second group, and all that. So we can utilize this particular data and we can do it. So in this is one of the graphical representation. Now look here. This is the example given to us. We have to make a bar graph now. Understand it very carefully that we have a treatment group. Treatment group is 1, 2, 3. The frequency of the group 1 is 15. The frequency of the group 2 is 25. And the frequency of the group 3 is 20. Right. So the frequency of the group 1 is 15. The frequency of the group 2 is 25. And the frequency of the group 3 is 20. And their proportion is, we can calculate total 15 by 60 because it is a total number, and this is 15 by 60, then it is 25 by 60, then 20 by 60. We calculate this, and then we'll calculate the percentage. After calculating the percentage, we'll train them that a treatment group, we'll make a treatment group 1, 2, 3, and then we can see that 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and then we'll make a number of the subjects. So this is basically the 1 subject, 2 subject, 3 subject. So we can see that this graph is generally labeled in color. And why it is labeled in color? Because it will show the different kind of variations happening in the particular graph. So when it is showing the different kind of variation happening in the graph, we can give it to a different colors also, that in particular category 1 they are different color, in the particular category 2 they are different color, in the particular category 3 they are different colors. So we can give them the different colors, and after that also we can study it. So what is basically the importance of breaking the data in terms of the graphical form is that along with the calculation, we can see the variation in terms of graph. When we can see the variation in terms of graph, we can quickly analyze that what is the particular data. Suppose in team 1 they are till 15, we can quickly see that in team 1 there are 15 students, in team 2 there are 25, in team 3 there are 20. So we can quickly see that what is the variation happening and how we are making this into the different groups and all that. So this is basically the bar diagram. In the bar diagram, again I am saying we can break the particular data. After breaking the particular data, we can start calculating from the particular data and all. And we can represent them in the different colors. Now look here, again there is a category form. This is called as a pie chart. Pie chart, again we have the same data with us. Now what we do is that we enable here we label them with a different colors. So when we label them with a different colors, then you can see that yellow represent with 33, generally represent 33%, the blue represent 25%, and the red or the pink represent the 42%. So basically what we do is we take the entire data. After taking the entire data, we break the data, we make the calculation with the data, and after that we highlight them with the different colors. So when we highlight them with the different colors, then what happens here, that we can quickly see that what is the variation happening, okay, where the group falls exactly in the particular group 1, what is happening, in the group 2, what is happening, in the group 3, what is happening with a particular variation. So we have learned two things here, the pie chart and the bar graph. The pie chart is basically we can make the circle, we can categorize them into different particular categories, and then we can make it color. A bar graph shows the variation where we make two variables, on one is the x-axis, one on the y-axis, and depending upon the calculation we will make the calculation, and after that we will combine all the lines, and all the lines when they are combined and plotted, then they gives the variation, of the particular data. So this is how we have learned that they have learned two things here, the pie chart and the bar graph, that how we make these things and we elaborate them with the different colors to see the variations clearly. Now we'll take a small break, and again we'll come back and we'll study more about the graphical method and then the numerical method.
Now quality learning is easily available at your doorstep. S. Chand Academy brings detailed lectures based on AICTE curriculum as per the New Education Policy 2020. So do not forget to subscribe to the S. Chand Academy and access the wide world of knowledge conveniently sitting at your home. Stay connected and keep watching S. Chand Academy. Happy learning!
Welcome students. So before the break we have learned that how to make a bar graph, how to make a pie chart. We have taken one example, and from that particular example we have learned that how the particular calculations done. We have taken the entire data, and after taking the entire data we have break the data into the small groups, and after breaking the data into the smaller groups, then we have made particular calculations. And after making the entire calculation, we are developing them in terms of graph. We can see the variation, what exactly the variation is happening in terms of graph, and after that we are plotting them with the different colors. So what is the logic of plotting them into different colors? You can see that quickly. We can say that the yellow color represents 33%, and you can see this is have the more area in the circle. So this pink color is 42%, and this particular blue color is 25%. So we can see that the colors and then their percentage. So as we can see that 42% is a pink, which is taking a higher area, then 25% smaller area, and then little bit more area than 25%, 30%. Here is an index in the corner. In the index we need to denote what we are using. Suppose team 1 is denoted by blue, team 2 is denoted by pink, team 3 is denoted by yellow. So here when we see in this mapping, we have to denote what we are using, so we can quickly have a view, and this is how the graphical method is very useful. We'll proceed further now. So we can see that the graphical presentation with a numerical value, this is called as a bar graph. So this is basically what all we need to calculate in this particular stats: mean, standard error, median, mode, standard deviation, sample variance, curious, then skewness, range, minimum and the maximum and the sum. So this is again basically you can see that ranging from 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140 more. This is the age in month and the number of subjects. So this is basically the age distribution with the number of subjects. When you make it a graph, you can see that from 0 to 2 there is nil, there is no student. From 60 to 80, then 80, then 100 and 120, 140 more. So in this graph we have shown with only one color. Okay, it can be shown with the different colors also, that when we highlight them with the different colors, we can see that how the variation is happening with 60, how the variation is happening with 80, how the variation is happening with 100, 120, 140, etc. So basically what the entire intention is to highlight something that can be readable in one view, that when we look at once, then we can see that how the variations has been calculated and how the variations are generally shown in the particular graph. So we can see that how this is managed. Let's take an example here, that we have to show something in 4 groups: group 1, group 2, group 3 and group 4. There are 4 groups that we have. We want to show something that the group 1 is under the group 1 has 60%, the group 2 is 90%, group 3 is 40% and the group 4 is 70%. So we can see that group 1, group 2, group 3. So we have written it, but we can see this here, that when we make the graph, right? So this is group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4. So G1, G2, G3 and the G4. Then we have the percentage. The percentage we can start from 0, then we can take 20 interval, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. So we have taken the 5 particular categories of the percentage, and then group 1. Group 1 is under 60. So they have scored 60%. Okay. Then the group 2 is 90%. So between 80 to 90. So suppose group 2 stands here. Okay. Then group 3 stands here, where they are scoring 40%. So 40% will come here. And then group 4 again we denoted by red. So they are scoring 70%, 70% will come here. So we can see here, so when we can see the variation here, we can see that this is how the variation is calculated. So we can say that this is how we denote something which is done in the graphical way, that different colors will show the different variations. So we can easily see that how group 1 is doing, how group 2, group 3, group 4. So if the question is asked that which group has scored the highest marks, we can easily see that group 2. Group 3 is the lowest, group 4 again between the group 1 and 2. So when we want to compare the particular data, after making the particular calculation, when we want to compare the particular data, in that particular comparison we can see that this particular data variations has to be calculated. We calculate the particular data variation, okay, and from this particular data variation we'll make the particular calculations and all. So this is how we have to represent this in terms of the graphical method. One is this one, and second one when we denote it in a circle, okay, and we break this into parts. So we can break this into 4 parts, group 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So depending upon the score scored by the group 1, scored by the group 2, group 3, group 4, group 5, like this will shade the area of this particular circle that generally comes. So we can see that here that we make a particular graph, and from that particular graph we are making the studies and all. Then we have the graphical representation with the numerical value, that we can see that this is the box plot, and we can see that there is a minimum, median, max, Q1, and this is Q3. So what is minimum? We can show here. This is the Q1 denoted by blue, pink denoted by Q3, then yellow denoted by the median, and then denoted by the median. So you can see in the box plot that every value, every particular color has a particular value, and from that particular value we are making the calculation. This was what all about the graphical presentation, that we present the particular data in a graphical way. Hence we can present the data in the numerical method also. In the numerical method, what we have to do is we have to put the numerical value of the data. Suppose that A has 30, 50, 70, B has 50, 40, 50, 60, what we have mentioned. So we have to make the particular set of data, and from that particular set of data that we are using, we have to make the particular calculation, that how we do the particular calculation from the particular set of data. In spite of making a graphical presentation, what we do is that we made the numerical presentation, we show them with a particular numerical value. So again we can see that the two methods, the first one is a graphical method, the second one is a numerical method. Both the methods are generally used to make the data calculation and to highlight the particular data, that how we are going to compare the particular data in terms of their score, in terms of their performance, in terms of their values. So we take a numerical value, we'll make the calculation. After taking the numerical value and after making the particular calculation, then what we do is we generally make the entire calculation and then we put on the graph. So when we make the calculation and put on the graph, and then we label them, as we can see that in the different colors. If you can see here that we have labeled them into different colors. So labeling them into different colors makes us enable to study a particular data, that what is the effect of that particular part in the entire particular data analysis. This is a very important concept of the data analysis. As we go further, we'll study the higher education. This part is very important, that how you study the particular data, breaking the data, making the calculation, and representing the data again. Okay, so this is a very important. So in this video we have learned that how we analyze the data in two forms. One is the graphical method and one is the numerical method. In the numerical method, how we make the calculations. In the graphical method, how we making the category of the data and then plotting the graph and then highlighting them with the different colors. So when we highlight them with the different colors, then we'll study the variations very quickly.
If you want to study this topic in detail, refer to the book by S. John Publishing. Link is provided in the description box. If you found our video interesting, please like, share and subscribe. And do not forget to press the bell icon.
All rights reserved. This video has been prepared for educational purposes only. No part of it may be reproduced or copied without the permission of the copyright holder.